Welcome back to Romantasy Chaos HQ, the pod. We are Avery and Xavier Harleston, healthcare professionals by day, romantasy theorists, and aspiring authors by night. Today we are covering Fourth Wing, Chapter 20, Epigraph. This is your warning. There will be spoilers for the entire Empyrean series. If you have not read all three books, it may be time to turn back. We are not rated E for everyone. Xavier has a degree in cussing, and he is not afraid to use it. We do discuss any and all adult topics covered in these books. We like a challenge, so we tackle each epigraph without prepping, placing it into the context of the entire series, not just the chapter or book it's tied to. But you don't have to take it cold, so here is our one-sentence summary of the chapter. Wing Leader Xaden once again takes justice into his own shadow hands, assigning Liam as a bodyguard and calling for the execution of Amber Mavis, which sets off Dane Let Me Touch Your Face Atos, revealing that he would take Violet's memories without her consent. But ultimately, Terrence shares a memory, proving Amber's guilt, and she's executed by Dragonfire. There are 6 minutes on the clock and enough Fourth Wing lore that even Dane Let Me Touch Your Face Atos couldn't read it all in our memories. So don't blink, don't scroll, don't let Terran distract you. We have 360 seconds to blow your mind.
And go.
Accusing a wing leader of wrongdoing is the most dangerous of all accusations. If you're right, then we've failed as a quadrant to select the best wing leaders. If you're wrong, you're dead. My Time as a Cadet, a memoir by General Augustine Melgren. Okay, so
How
first
the
of
hell
all,
could we be wrong?
well, he supposedly, first of all, we don't know how active, this is what I was going to get at. We don't know how active, someone like the commanding general is in the selection of the wing leaders and the senior wing leader. So what I was going to say is how much of the selection of wing leaders is humans like Panchek, the commandant, versus do the dragons have any say in that? Because clearly, in terms of Xaden, Sigale is not the elder of the Blues, but she is very respected and even perhaps feared, even among the dragons, because she is so ruthless. But we don't really know about the other wing leaders' dragons, and it does not seem to necessarily these leaders among the humans are not necessarily leaders among dragons, and leaders among dragons are not necessarily bonded to people who are leaders among humans, but we do see that the leader among the dragons does elevate the humans to leadership, often, or at least in Violet's case, sometimes, against their will.
Well, but he said this as my time as a cadet in this epigraph, which implies that he's reflecting on a time when he was a cadet, and either he had to accuse a wing leader of something, or a wing leader was challenged or accused of something while he was a cadet. And if it was post bonding, shouldn't he have known the outcome, seen what was going on, know what was happening?
Not if it was at that time, his signet could have still truly been battle outcomes. So if it wasn't necessarily a battle.
Although technically his words would have just been his words, because Taryn said that memories had never been shared outside of a mating bond before he shared it. So even if he and Coda knew something, if Coda wasn't going to share the actual memory or share what he foresaw,
the vision,
then it was just what he said. And back to, Melgren says a lot of stuff.
Melgren says an awful lot of stuff. How much of what he is saying, in something like My Time as a Cadet. So I think all history, all autobiographies, are interpretations and recollections of your lived experience, how you experience that in the moment versus how you recall experiencing it later. Probably two different things.
Although I'm just now getting really shocked by the fact that Melgren admitted in his memoir that they make errors in leadership.
That's
That's such a rebellion seed to place to be like, I'm going to put in my memoir that not all leaders are good, that we can make errors in selecting leaders, that sometimes leaders might need to be challenged, that, even if it's risking death, sometimes you need to stand up to a bad leader. That sounds like a rebel to
And
me.
it's so interesting that there is a process for dealing with this within the quadrant. There is a process for what you do if someone in leadership has done something wrong, even a wing leader. You make the accusation, we see what happens, right? Like it plays out right in front of us on the page. But what is the process after you leave the quadrant? Whether the person who is in leadership is in military or more a political leader, like, I don't know, the king.
Well, yeah, but if you were the guy that executed all of the rebels,
Melgren.
you would think that you would have an attitude of the leaders are infallible. If you're pushing back against the decisions of the country, you are a rebel and need to be executed. But his memoirs clearly includes challenging wing leaders in the quadrant as something he felt like he needed to mention, that cadets should challenge their wing leaders if they're bad.
I'm not saying he's encouraging challenging the wing leaders, but he does kind of refer to like the collective wisdom. And it seems like the higher and higher up you go in the military, the less there is a collective wisdom to draw on. Like ultimately, he is currently the commanding general. The buck stops with him, but also it starts with him. He is the one who gives the order to do things like make the children of the rebellion leaders be present at their executions, going against everything that is considered normal in the society. And, you know, doing something that is viewed as punishment for these children for the sins of their parents, which is very much not. I mean, the flyers point out that is the Navarre way, not their way. That's not the Tirish way. That's not the Peromish way. And questionably, maybe it's not even truly the Navarre way. It's just the way things are right now under King Tari,
Well, and
the wise.
he wrote this after he already knew about the Venin. He was already of a rank that he would have known about the Venin, and writing about challenging a wing leader that is like Amber Mavis, who is scared about Violet's power and jealous. She's clearly at increased risk of becoming a Venin.
Yeah. And that's our time. Did we blow your minds? Let us know in the comments. And remember, we love you. Stay out of the clouds, off the ice, and come back to us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Remember, lore lovers, fantasy fanatics, and good girls, like, rate, review, subscribe, and share.